So you have to wonder, is it possible with the latest Flash movie that we could actually be the Hot Toys Wizard? Come on, man. I'm in the middle of recording. You do this to me every freaking time. Wizard, what's going on? I already told you last time I was recording that I am the Dark Jedi, Aries Tarrington, who quite frankly, serves up all the Star Wars Hot Toys talk. No, I'm not the Wizard. Look, I'm not going to get into you with this again. Yes, I'm already aware that Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford is forthcoming, and I'm already aware another Han is already in the works. Well, I know about... Well, really, how'd you find out about that one? Well, really? But did you know about Yondu? Again? Yeah, well, before you hang up on me, I'm going to hang up on you. Listen, baby. I've got the coffee brewed right here. I've got more coffee right here. I got coffee all over the floor. Can you hear the splashing? Well, let's go ahead and dive into this right now. All right, and welcome everyone to another episode of Aries Tarrington's Drunk on Coffee right here at the Six Scale Cantina. And listen, go ahead right now and just smash that like button. I so do very much appreciate your support. And hey, why not, while you're at it, please also go ahead and subscribe to Six Scale Cantina. Again, thank you so much for your support. My. With the Guardians of the Galaxy, we're going to dive into that within this episode. What about Gamora? What about Yondu? We're going to talk about Mantis. We're going to talk about Drax. What about Indiana Jones? What about this upcoming film here from Disney? And does that mean that we would also get a Harrison Ford? We're going to dive into that. And man, oh man, and gosh almighty, The Flash. The Flash, ladies and gentlemen, my goodness gracious. Is it possible that we will get several of those cameos that showed up in the Flash movie? Let's go ahead and dive into it. But real quickly, we're going to go to sixscalecantina.com. If you don't have sixscalecantina.com, you absolutely want to go ahead and bookmark this site. Right now, it has all the current market, primary, secondary market, all the latest news and Star Wars Hot Toys. I'm working on very diligently, and you're seeing on all my market shows, covering everything DC with Hot Toys. Everything Marvel with Hot Toys. All the DX prior releases and upcoming releases from Hot Toys. As a matter of fact, all the Hot Toys is going to be right here at sixscalecantina.com. You don't want to miss this awesome site. And listen, when you scroll down, and I'm pulling this up, of course, that's the show from last week, but you can see in this light yellow highlighted area is all the examples and some samples of what you get if you decide to become a channel member, aka a Cantina Insider. And is it possible that if you join today, that you're not only going to get just one, but two fresh episodes this coming week? And I say yes. And check it out. You can see right there below my picture, the first one, and I'm going to blow it up a little bit so you could see it. This Flash movie, you're going to get the Dark Jedi's review on my thoughts on what I think about this movie. And for insiders only, did The Flash and Sasha live up to the hype? Unplugged and raw, the Dark Jedi will be. Listen, for cheaper than a price than a dozen eggs, you may want to consider joining the channel if you've been thinking about it and you think you can benefit from it. But that's not all. This week's market chart show, and you can see the headline right there, rare, gone, and early, exclusively this week. Exclusively for Cantina Insiders, a.k.a. channel members. Just this one time, rare, gone, and early. As you know, Cad Bane is gone. As you know now, Mantis is gone. Of course, the DX-27 Obi-Wan, gone. Of course, William Dafoe, both versions of the Green Goblin, gone. And you have to wonder, is that version of the Flash going to be gone? Are we going to get other versions of the Flash? Another version of Mantis? Another version of Obi-Wan? Another version of Cad Bane? Listen, baby, go ahead and join sixscalecantina.com, and I'm going to tell you the whole story coming up this week exclusively for Cantina Insiders. Let's start off with the Guardians. Guardians of the Galaxy. And it's kind of funny because when No Way Home came out, for, Spider-Man and for Marvel, there was a lot of debate on whether they would actually make the villains, and not only the villains, the various heroes from Spider-Man No Way Home. Remember, it wasn't just Tom Holland who was the star of the show, of the movie in there, but throwback and appearances, and obviously a big part of the movie, Tobey Maguire, and also Andrew Garfield. And they actually came out with not only Tom Holland, of course, but Tobey Maguire from No Way Home. And not only Tobey Maguire, but Andrew Garfield from No Way Home. And not only those heroes, but all the villains in one way, shape, or form. They came out with the Lizard with a base. They came out with Sandman with a base. They came out with Electro, Jamie Foxx, regular figure. They came out with Doc Ock, regular figure. They came out with the Green Goblin, regular figure. And they came out with two versions of the Green Goblin, the modern suit, as well. But you have to wonder, with this tease that they had over here, and I'm going to pull this up onto the screen so you could go ahead and see this. It's really quite telling when you look at this right here. This is from Hot Toys. Right when the Guardians of the Galaxy movie was set to come out, or coming out, Drax, Groot, Mantis, Star-Lord, Nebula, Rocket. They've already give you Rocket already. They already gave you, last week, Nebula already. They already gave you Star-Lord, and they already gave you Groot. And are they going to give you Drax and Mantis? It's not even, I'm not even going to say, and I say, because if they're putting it on the banner, and they're showing you this They're not in the business anymore of letting down collectors. They're not in the business anymore of letting down their customer base when it comes to teases like this. They're going to answer the call, and you're going to be getting Drax and you're going to be getting Mantis. But is that all? Is that all? Remember, we already got an extra piece, an extra character, and his name is escaping me. The awesome Guardian that's the dog. It comes with Rocket. It's a 2-pack. We already got that character. Would we actually get Gamora? Let's get into it. Obviously, she was a huge part of the movie, for sure. When you look at some of the things and some of the trends going on in the secondary market, it's a little bit interesting. I could pull this up onto the screen, and you can see right here, just back from basically the end of May, $610 with 19 bids for the Drax Guardians Hot Toys release, MMS 355. That is out, not including the $14.95 in shipping. Great seller, 5,830 feedback, all 100% positive. Would they capitalize on putting out another Drax? Well, they already put it on the banner for their tease, but goodness gracious, my friends, it is so high right now, and it was high before the movie came out. This wasn't sitting like the Mud Trooper, okay? This wasn't sitting like that, okay? Or the Heavy Infantry Mandalorian. This was a big mover in the secondary market. And when you put Drax right now, of course, the popularity of Guardians, I mean, if you pull this up, just take a look at what's out there at these. Yeah, $600 a deal with 229 shipping, and someone's at 10 people are watching it. $800 less shipping. 808 less shipping than that. $1,200, $70 shipping. $1,700. My goodness, ridiculous. $1,000 and $100 in shipping. Well, at least with the $1,700 one that you see below me there, you do get free shipping with that one. But would they absolutely capitalize on this with the new uniform? And again, remember, as I've been telling you, they don't have to, and they're not going to. Listen carefully. They don't have to, and they're not going to, because the trends aren't pointing to it, put out big volume numbers anymore, I think, for any character. What would they do instead? Put out different renditions, different versions of that same character, repainting the head sculpts, making slight little tweaks so the R&D is much less expensive, more affordable, and reusing of a lot of stuff that they already have. Okay? And when you go to more of these figures here, and you take a look at that, and then you take into consideration this, is there a direct correlation to this Mantis hitting waitlist this past week? Is there a direct correlation to that and the fact that any week the Mantis with that outfit from the Guardians 3 is going to come out? And I say yes. Of course there is. There is an absolute direct correlation, my friends, I believe, in some way, shape, or form, to that. Not with all figures, but with many figures, depending on the popularity of the character. One will come up, and as it goes away, another one will quickly come into place. not only dependent on the popularity of the character, but how many different versions of the character a collector or you really need. With characters like Iron Man, characters like Spider-Man, characters like Boba Fett, characters like Darth Vader, Luke, Loki. There are a lot of multiple versions you can have up at once. Other characters, not necessarily the case. But is a new Mantis about to come out very, very quickly on top of the along with the Drax? And I say yes. And I don't know why this would be controversial as I pull this up onto the screen. But my goodness, they already did the they already invested in the R&D for Michael Rooker. Why wouldn't they do a new version of him? He showed up in the movie. While it's not a guarantee that Yondu's going to come from the Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Hot Toys does have some history of characters with even less screen time taking advantage of being able to put that out to capitalize on that. And as you're seeing in here, this could be an exclusive. This can be a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. This could be a New York Comic-Con exclusive. This could be ABC exclusive, XYZ exclusive, any exclusive. It could be just 300 pieces, 1,000 pieces, 1,500 pieces. That's all it has to be. And it would absolutely sell like hotcakes, and the investment has already been made in this R&D. Pause for some coffee. You're watching Drunk on Coffee right here, Scale Cantina. And certainly for a lot of collectors that missed out on this, they would love to be able to pick this up because this goes for between $500 and $600 in the secondary market right now to pick up this Yondu. Would a new version hurt this? Well, if it was the same exact version, but I don't really believe it would be the same exact version. I think it'd be a little bit different. And I think it would match this film. And it would certainly be labeled for this film. But I think, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, when talking about Yondu and having him up here on the banner. If it's more and more announcements that Hot Toys is doing, and less production of those announcements, with more reuses of prior used R&D, why wouldn't they put this out? Why wouldn't they put out Gamora? And I think those are the questions you have to ask when it comes to the Guardians of the Galaxy. For sure. Now, we got a film coming up that I am actually quite excited to see. And it stars this guy right here, Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones. And I understand some of the articles that are out there. I'm going to tell you that I don't pay attention to any of the critics' reviews. I pay attention to it, but I don't give it credence. I find that probably more than half the time, if the critics collectively, the majority are down on a film, The Dark Jedi is probably going to like it. Okay? So, give you an example when it comes to Star Wars. 92% and over of movie critics, they know everything. 92% super, super awesome ripe tomato for The Last Jedi. Wasn't with it. Rotten Rise of Skywalker. I wasn't with that. And while I enjoyed both films, and those of you that follow me know my problem with The Last Jedi, although it was a very good movie, and Rise of Skywalker was also a good movie, and I went the opposite way of the critics on that one. There were critics, and again, I saw The Flash this past weekend, with my adult daughters. I went to go see The Flash. And one critic, who I really enjoy, couldn't stand, gave it 2.5 stars. And I was reading some of the critics' reviews, and I'm like, I'm really going to like this. And I'll be honest with you, I really, really enjoyed this Flash movie. Really so much did. It was so much fun. And one of the best modern DC movies I have seen in a long, long, long time. I highly recommend checking out this. And again, just to promote it again, besides the upcoming members only market chart show, you do get my movie review on the Flash. And Sasha, did it live up to the hype? You're not going to want to miss that. But listen, I don't listen to the critics. I go way more with the general audience popcorn score on Rotten Tomatoes to get a real sense and feel of how the film and what the pulse is for the film. I don't need a so-called professional movie critic to tell me how I should feel or if I should go see a movie. I'll go with my gut, and I'll go with the movie. Pause for coffee. I just don't believe everything that I hear. But that's my rule of thumb. But I'm certainly hearing a ton about this from this Indiana Jones movie, to be quite honest with you. I really, really am. And what are my feelings on Indiana Jones and everything that's out there in regards to this? And it's kind of the same thing, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. I am excited about not only the prospect of this hot toy, my God, coming in right here, this Indiana Jones, but I'm actually really excited for this movie. I don't believe that Harrison Ford is going to be made to look bad in this, is going to be made to look, I don't know, whatever he's going to look like. He's, the thing is he's much, much older. And I'll tell you this from a coaching perspective, because I not only have been coaching martial arts for decades, I'm a professional MMA coach. And I can't do the things that I used to do. Okay? At all. From when I watched the first Raiders of the Lost Ark way back in 1981, I believe it was, or 1980. Okay? To now, can't do what I used to do. And you have to wonder, can Indiana Jones do the same thing he used to do with Raiders of the Lost Ark and Temple of Doom? And I say, no. How could he? Of course a younger gun is going to be doing a little bit more of the actual fighting in the ring, fighting in the cage, driving in the NASCAR, in the IndyCar. We need to recognize that. And there always seems to be so much hate and so much objection. Oh, another Star Wars movie, and they're taking away from Luke and taking away from Han, and oh, another Indiana Jones movie. Oh, and another this, and oh, you can't change baseball because leave it at 6 hours long. Kids today, they'll love it if it stays that way. Look, Indiana Jones is older. As long as they don't make him a joke, as long as they don't ruin the character, like the character was ruined for Luke in The Last Jedi, in my opinion, The character's going to be older. The character shouldn't be moving like Bruce Lee exactly at this point any longer. That's a little bit realistic, to be honest with you. Even Yoda in Return of the Jedi was a little weaker than in Empire Strikes Back and couldn't do anything at Empire Strikes Back like he was able to do in the prequels. Why? Because he's older. So listen, here's the moral of the story, ladies and gentlemen. When 800 years old you become, look as good, you will not. Pause for coffee. I'm not going to let anybody ruin my hype for this movie. The movie might suck, and if it does, I'll be the first to tell you I didn't like it. But I love Indiana Jones, I love Harrison Ford, and I'm going to give it a shot, and I'm going to go ahead and take a look at it. There was a lot of... I learned this recently because I watched Thor: Love and Thunder, and I absolutely loved it. Was it as good as Thor Ragnarok? No way. No. But was it good? I enjoyed it. Thor was acting like he acted in Infinity War, in my opinion. A little goofy. A little out of sorts. Same way he did in Endgame. Continued goofy and continued out of sorts. Is he that way in this film? I think so. Did Mighty Thor take away from him? No. Did I feel like it was a good story and some... I really did. Did it have was it corny a little bit and the humor was Yeah. So it was okay. But it wasn't like I'm outraged or I'm shocked at what they're doing with Thor. They're kind of doing that with Thor since Infinity War, to be quite frank with you. To be honest with you. And I kind of like the character. So I didn't watch it all this time. All this time because of all the stuff on the internet. Oh, you're not going to like it. You're not going to like it, Aries. You're going to hate it. You're going to hate it. Oh, I better not watch it. Well, I went ahead and watched it. And while a lot of times when I hear that it is true, it's not true all of the time. Just some food for thought. Make your own darn decisions and see it for yourself and investigate for yourself, baby. Going back to this, regardless if this movie sucks or not, stinks or not, rots or not, I'd love an upgraded DX05, baby, which you're looking at right here. This Indiana Jones. Absolutely. And I think we're going to get the older version of Indy from this film. But would they go ahead, whether there's a flashback scene or not, give us a younger Indiana Jones and redo it again? And I say, yes. I really, really do. And if they're going to go ahead and they're going to give you another Harrison Ford head sculpt like they did with Natalie Portman from the aforementioned Love and Thunder, what did they do after they gave us Mighty Thor? They gave us Padme after all that wait. Is it possible that it would be the same scenario here? That once Indy comes out in short order, we would get that long-awaited Bespin Han, or an Endor Han first, or just another Han Solo in general? And I say, yes. I really, really do. Look, this has been, this would be just great. And this is a, custom Bespin Han. You can look at that here with the A New Hope head sculpt on the screen. And just looking at this gets my, makes me spill my coffee, ladies and gentlemen. But I am jonesing. I am waiting for a Bespin Han. It would be absolutely so special. I mean, they teased this with the Leia photo. with the Leia photos way back. You see it here on the screen, the Leia Bespin photos anyway. And I don't think that this was a mistake. I don't think that they did this, haphazardly. Even back then, I think that, look at those pants here. You can just see that that's going to be the Bespin Han, teased from Hot Toys. And I really do feel that just like the Bespin Luke, which was teased earlier than this, always remember that, with that DX24 and 25, is teased earlier than the Bespin Han. I do believe that this is going to be one of the big shocks this year. And it may not be the Bespin Han, but it could be. Is it possible? With the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi. And when you want to talk about demand, baby, when you want to talk about demand for Han Solo, geez Louise, as I put him up over here, very, very hot right now, just sold very, very recently, back on June 10th, with 4 bids, outstanding seller, 1,273 feedback, all 100% positive, $680. With taxes, over $700 for a new Han Solo from A New Hope. And how long was the Bespin Luke #1? Like for 8 weeks? How long would a Bespin or Return of the Jedi Han be #1 when you sort it out? Everything bestseller wise. It's it would be real interesting for sure. And this is what it's going for. Han Solo: A New Hope is rising. Give you a little bit of tease here from the upcoming market show for this week for insiders only. $670 from Hawk Wars right now, new. Shout out to my man Ray, Hawk Wars. Wow, now just one away from 1,660 feedback. All 100% positive. But yeah, check it out. $670 there for a Han Solo. Han Solo rising right now in the secondary market. Forget about the Indiana Jones, the original DX05. Also very, very high in the secondary market for sure. And for both figures, whether it's a refreshed Indiana Jones or a Han Solo right here, shoot, I could put this up on the screen. And what one sold on this, and it has broken pieces, and $568.31 with a ton of watchers, and this just needs a serious, more than they could actually reuse. I believe the head sculpts, the 2 Han Solo original trilogy head sculpts right now with repainting it. I really believe that, and if they wanted to put a rolling eyes function as well. But this one, Indiana Jones, we definitely need a new one, and I hope the wizard can work his magic, or her magic, to make this happen. For sure. Goodness gracious. All right, so now let's get on to the next thing here. The next one I want to talk about, and I'm going to pull this up onto the screen. And yes, this was not too long ago, a couple weeks ago, whatever it was, from Hot Toys, teasing so many different Batmans from this current Flash movie that's out in theaters. And would we actually get every one of these different suits that they're showcasing here, from Michael Keaton's closet, if you will? And I say, yes, it is possible. Look, lower production numbers, but more announcements. And they could say that these are exclusives. I'm telling you right now that there's some exclusives that they're coming out with. 1,500 pieces or whatever it is, where some of the current figures that are out right now are going to be less, possibly less than even that. They're just all very limited right now, depending on the character. And even if the character is big, a character like Cad Bane that just hit waitlist, okay? Character like Mantis that just hit waitlist, or a character like Doc Ock, or the Green Goblin, or Electro, villains from Spider-Man that are very, very popular and in that lore, and gone, gone, gone. Why are they gone? Because there's a limited amount that they're moving forward with now. There's a limited amount that the official distributors are purchasing at this point because of how the market is and the economy is. They're just not buying as much. How does Hot Toys then be able to recoup the money they used to do when it used to be so much more volume on purchase orders that were delivered to them? Well, what they do, besides believe, what they do is they just put out different versions of that same R&D so that they can try and keep up with that same level of profit and cash flow that they were experiencing. And with this upcoming movie, whether it bombs or not, as far as being able to bring in box office money, are they going to continue to give us some crazy stuff from here? Look, let's talk about this. Yeah. George Clooney. Would they do George Clooney? And do they have to just do him as Bruce Wayne? Do they have to skip an actual bat suit? And I say no, they don't. You know, with any of these Batmans that may or may not appear in this Flash movie, it's pretty clear that they're using the bat suits from the original Michael Keaton. We all know Michael Keaton is in this Flash movie. And whatever bat suit that George Clooney had from his stint as Batman, they could absolutely do that. And maybe they just do a Bruce Wayne. Maybe they just do both. But would they do it? Could they do it? Is it possible? And can they put in a little bit of a little message as also seen from his original movie and also The Flash? And I say, why the heck not? They already did it with Cad Bane from frickin' the Book of Boba Fett, as also seen in Attack of the Clones. They already did it with the Attack of the Clones 20th anniversary line with the clone pilot and a clone trooper. One of them is already seen in Revenge of the Sith, and one of them is also seen from the Clone Wars. They can do whatever they want. And are they going to continue to kind of mix and match and things like that to be able to generate a profit because lower production numbers and more announcements? And I say, yes. Why wouldn't they? If they were going to make 20,000 of this, as much as the best car Mandalorian, no. As many of those Black Widows from the Black Widow film, or Cable, from Deadpool, or as many of those Iron Man, Mark 85, Battle Damage, and Non, or, as many as those figures that we're trying to get rid of right now, or the 2-pack Nightmare, and Dark Suit Superman, or the 2-pack Boba Fett, no. But would they do it like Reva? Could they do it like the Grand Inquisitor? Like if they came out with this, seriously. Seriously. Grand Inquisitor sell more or this sell more? I already know the answer. I'm a Star Wars fan and I'd rather have this. Just saying. Just saying. And, just saying, my friends. And, really, any cameos that show up in here. And there's that suit I'm talking about. What about Jason Momoa? What about the baddie from Fast 10? What about Aquaman? Oh, no, they wouldn't do that. Just like they wouldn't do Tobey Maguire, and they wouldn't do Andrew Garfield until he has his film, and they wouldn't do Ahsoka until certainly she had her series, and they're not... Come on, guys, come on, gals. I can absolutely see them doing a... put it to you this way. an extra special drunk version of Aquaman. Cheers to you. We got to get Aquaman. We got to get Jason Momoa drunk on coffee. That's what I think. That's what I say. I mean, seriously. I mean, this right here, this, obviously they already teased this. So you already know that this is coming. And I can't wait. And, you know, if you want my thoughts, there's a lot of hype around Sasha Calle. A lot of hype about, you know, this character as I pull it up onto the screen. Did she actually live up? How was her acting performance? How was her portrayal as Supergirl? How actually was she in the film? Again, you're not going to want to miss my review because I'm going to give it to you straight, baby. And I brought this up last week. You know, if these two show up in the movie, cameos, all these rumors, Adam West, Christopher Reeve, would they do it? Did they? I mean, would they actually do it? I think the other question is, do they already have R&D from past Superman releases? The original Superman and Evil Superman. Did Hot Toys already do? And Adam West. And I think you can kind of start deducing that. And then right here, you can see as I pull this up onto the screen, here's the very first Christopher Reeve Hot Toys Superman, which I have. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, you can get that social media link on the links below. I put something up in honor to this figure I do have up on Instagram. Just go to the link in the video description and you can follow me on there. Get me a follow and you can see some of the various different things I put up. It's not just alerts on when I come up with new stuff, but yeah, I have this. And this is a hallmark now of my collection. One of the hallmarks, one of the pivotal pieces. Would they do this again? Would they give us a different version of this, a version for this movie? You know, would they do this? And I say, why not? Why wouldn't they do it? Again, when it comes to a business perspective, and you're trying to come out with not only releases to be able to make up for the lost volume on purchase orders, why wouldn't you not only come out with releases that people are looking for, collectors are jonesing for, releases that go for, God, I mean, how much money in the secondary market for figures like this? I mean, they're very, very, very expensive. And this figure is absolutely, absolutely awesome. And it's a world of wonder right now when it comes to Hot Toys. Are we going to get Super Shocks? Are we going to get some new versions of prior releases? I say absolutely we're going to. And it's a very, very exciting time to be able to be a fan of all of these IPs and collect 6-scale figures. It's not so much a fun time for our wallets, but we do have a great selection to choose from and can really, really get, I believe at this point, what's near and dear to our hearts and kind of skip the figures that we just like and are able to get the figures that we really love because we have the selection at this point to be able to get them, or it's getting to that point, and which will help us budget. And I think in the past, all the selection wasn't there, and just the need to collect. I got to buy something to have something. Yeah, I like it, but it wasn't really great, and you wind up selling some of those anyway in the future, for sure. Absolutely crazy. Don't forget to go ahead and smash that like button. I so do very much appreciate your support. And remember, besides Instagram, just go ahead and go to sixscalecantina.com. And if you want a sneak peek on some of my crazy fracking unboxings, this is up publicly. You don't have to join the channel to even see this. Go to sixscalecantina.com and you can click on this video here. Free Cantina Insiders membership video sample. You get the whole video. My crazy fracking unboxing of that actual Christopher Reeve, the first one, Hot Toys Superman MMS 152, high resolution pictures, split screen, picture-in-picture views. On top of my reaction, you absolutely don't want to miss this. If you like this video, you're probably going to like all the other Insider ones that are up on the channel and all the ones that are going to be forthcoming up for Insiders as well, which include the DX19 Batman, which include the Spider-Man Infinity War Iron Spider figure, which also include Iron Man Mark 47. It's going to include the DX25, baby. It's going to go ahead and include the Mando Luke Skywalker, the DX 21 Ahsoka Tano, the deluxe chrome plated Mandalorian. I got so much coming up, but absolutely. And for those of you, I am feeling better. I'm not going to be able to do 6 scale Raw tomorrow. But is it possible that I will be back for 6 scale Raw on the 26th? And I say yes. So what you gonna do when the Dark Jedi returns on Monday, June 26th, I think is the date, on 6 scale Raw on you? What you gonna do? But thank you everybody for reaching out. I do appreciate that. Catching up on some things, and I do have to travel as well, and everything's just been a little bit crazy. And but glad I was able to get this episode out. Glad I'm able to get out a couple of Insider videos for you. Remember, I don't always buy coffee out, but when I do, I buy it right here at 6 Scale Cantina. Stay thirsty, my friends.
Versus Matter.